welcome to the Chaffin Church podcast. My name is Pastor Marty Holman, and I'm thankful that you've chosen to check us out today, or whenever you are listening or watching this podcast. We are going to be going once again to our good friend Jerry Caruso. We had a podcast before with Jerry. The sound didn't sound all that good, so I decided to bring him in again. Because on March 11th, here at Chaffin Church in Holden, 155 Shrewsbury Street, we will be having a stand-up comedy night. And all the proceeds that we bring in will go to Hearts for Heat, a nonprofit organization that benefits people in need of heat, financial resources for heat. So that's Hearts for Heat, and that'll be a great night. I'll actually be doing a bit here, and Dan Cohane and Jerry Caruso, and so that's what's happening. And so I'm going to be talking to him about his life. He's an Italian guy, has some great stories around that, and I hope you will enjoy his story and our story as we connect into March 11th, Friday night, the Laughin' Chaffin stand-up comedy night. Okay? If you wouldn't mind subscribing to the YouTube channel here at Chaffin Church, we have all sorts of good content, including our Sunday gatherings, which I think are pretty good. And we also are going to be enjoying, or also, if you wouldn't mind subscribing there at Spotify or Apple Podcasts as well. Enjoy our conversation and have a great day. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. I just got back from Maine.
What part of Maine?
To Wells, Maine.
Oh yeah, we always go to Wells.
It was nice. I had never stayed there before, but we went up there, and of course yesterday was beautiful.
Oh, it's a poor man's Ogunquit. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just like really nice. There's a lot to do. There's enough to do. Oh, you should tell me. I'll give you places to go out to eat.
Well,
there's a good amount of them. I'll send it to you.
Okay. Tell me about growing up Italian. Tell me a little bit about that. Like, what is up with that?
Certainly a privilege. It's a privilege. First of all, you're automatic Catholic. You automatically like the color black. You automatic eat till you can't stop. You automatic listen to your elders. You automatically question who some of the elders are, and they tell you don't question them. So it's really cool. It's like, not like being in a mob, but you know. But it was just so unique. You never talk back to anybody, or a group of them would jump you. Wouldn't matter. Aunts, uncles, cousins, don't you talk like that, And we learned. There was a lot of discipline, but, a lot of eating, a lot of yelling.
How do Italian people stay so thin?
Not a lot of them. I mean,
some of them.
I mean, yeah, some do. I don't know what it is. I mean, a lot of us were athletic, and not athletic to the point that we were all stars or anything, but we used to go out and play a lot, when we were kids, and we continued when we get older, whether it be touch football, baseball, hardball, wiffle ball, softball, bowling. Like, we did everything. So when we were kids, and sometimes aunts and uncles would join us, mostly the uncles, and they were in decent shape too. So you couldn't question that. But we ate to our heart's content. That was our reward, eating. That's it.
After all the play.
Yeah. Sometimes during. It all depends. Someone brings up. My cousin goes, I brought some rolls. I go, what are we gonna do with the rolls? We get hungry during the game. I go, So we just went with it. So it was really cool. But growing up Italian is so different. It shouldn't be any different from growing up Irish, French, English, German, Jewish. It shouldn't be any different. It's all like the same characteristics. Everything's around family, revolves around family. Yeah. We had 2 big meals a week, Sunday and Wednesday. Not that the other meals were pushovers, but big meal on Sunday. We'd invite aunts and uncles, and Thursday. It was Thursday. We went into the Prince Spaghetti Day. We were just,
Really?
Oh, no. And every meal involved pasta. It didn't matter. If gluten was a sin, we were all going to hell. Because I'll tell you, a lot of pasta, a lot of pasta. But it was good. My mother's a tremendous cook. She's 96 now, but up until late 80s, or yeah, up to the late 80s, she would host holidays and still cook. And the whole table would be filled. I go, there's only, let's see, 4, 8, 10, 12, 13, no, 14 or 15 of us. There was enough for at least 45 people.
Yeah.
Because they go overboard. They have a passion for cooking.
Wow. Now, was there a special thing about Sundays and Wednesdays, or?
Sunday's always a family day.
Okay.
No matter what. Like if we had a softball game, it better be over by mealtime, you know. And mealtime was like, loosely between 12 and 2. But, you know, we'd work around it, but most of our softball games were at night, or even bowling was at night, street hockey was at night, you know, so we always worked around it. We never got in trouble, but I'm telling you, the feast, it was a feast. Like Thanksgiving, turkey was a snack. It wasn't, you know, there were meatballs, there were hot sausages, there were like lasagna or any kind of pasta. In addition, like turkey was just like a side dish.
Everything else was there, though.
Yeah, oh God, yeah.
Sounds amazing.
And desserts were, see, it's not like we couldn't make desserts. Like if you didn't have time, we'd just go out to the Italian pastry shop in the North End, of course.
Of course.
And buy oodles of pastry or buy a rum cake. We were little kids getting drunk on rum cake. When I joke about rum cake during my act, we had it for our birthdays. We didn't have normal birthday cake. It had a little bit of a kick to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ate that up. And it's like, people, you like rum cake? Yeah, it's all right. After a while, you get used to it. Yeah, you're probably drunk if you're a little kid, but I shouldn't say that. I'm not promoting it, but you know.
But it's what happened.
It's just insane. But it made it fun growing up, and we'd always go to my aunt's house, or my aunt and uncle. My aunt and uncle from Boston used to come in from the North End, take the bus. We'd give them a ride home.
Yeah.
Because we were in Lynn. We weren't that far, like a 20-minute drive. My aunt and uncle in Swampscott, we go visit them big holidays, sometimes every Sunday. It all depends who wanted to host it. Other aunt and uncle, we go visit them. It was like a big excursion to go to Reading. Reading was like equidistant in Boston. It's like 20 minutes away. It's like, Lynn, why is this such a trip? Well, we got to take all these roads. What's the big deal? Too many turns. Where Boston, they claim, my father would say it's a straight shot. It never was a straight shot.
Right.
You don't go straight into Boston. You go on different roads, but to them, they were so used to it. And you know, we did a lot of hanging out with cousins. Italians are big on that. Like my wife's family was the same way.
Yeah.
You go to my wife's family, it's like the who's who, you know, of Italians and Sicilians. It's like, you know, Sopranos meet the Corleones. It was that big.
Yeah.
You know, I go, who's that? Oh, that's my cousin. She's going on with these cousins. I think that's, you know, it's like, because it's funny, my wife was adopted. She's an Irish girl, adopted Italian, so she's really Italian.
Oh, wow.
She learned how to cook from my mother, her mother, her grandmother, a little bit of my mother, but, you know, she's fully into it, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like we don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day. We don't know St. Patrick was an Italian.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
That is the rumor.
Yep, so, yeah. Interesting.
Wow.
Never a dull moment.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say.
That's so cool.
Oh, there was someone there, and he's still there.
Oh.
That's okay.
Hey, dude.
Yep, I didn't realize you were recording.
Oh, that's okay.
That's okay.
It's in my my wallet is in my
Talk amongst yourselves,
Coat.
folks.
wallet is in my coat.
How
Do you
you
know
doing?
Al?
Nice
You guys
to
haven't
meet you.
met?
No, I haven't met him. No.
Oh, this is Jerry. This is Caruso.
I was his teacher.
We have not ever
Oh
officially
yeah.
met.
Cool.
Very nice to meet you. I've seen you, I saw him on the online comedy show.
Oh, that's right.
That's it.
The online comedy show. Nice.
Yeah, it's in my wallet, my coat.
That's okay to
Yeah, grab it. It's right there in my office.
Awesome. Thank you. Hey,
Yeah.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
See you,
We'll see you the
dude.
11th.
Oh, yeah, you will.
There we go.
Yeah.
I know you'll edit this. So it's like,
come.
I tell everybody to talk amongst themselves, whatever. Nice to meet you.
So, I was gonna tell a story. So,
Where'd you grow up? You?
I grew up in Ohio.
Yeah, no, but nationality-wise, or are you mutt?
So my family is from England and Germany, essentially. Some Scotland, but England and Germany, yeah. We're the English part. I think both sides have been here
pretty much since the 1700s.
No kidding. Oh my God.
Yeah, hanging out. I have one on my mom's side, one who was a famous evangelist actually in
Stop it.
Georgia. Yeah, his name is George Whitfield.
No
Whitfield.
kidding.
And he was pretty famous. And
Wow. That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
How were holidays for you guys? I mean, was it exciting? Was it nothing
Holidays
compared to
were
mine?
all about sports. My family
Ooh.
was all about sports. I mean, we love in the Midwest. You tell everyone you're super polite compared to like Northeasterners, right? Like New Englanders. But what happens is you keep it surface. Everything's about surface things. You don't really talk deeply about real things.
Right.
So the conversation would start at weather and go as deep as sports.
Oh my God.
And it could be passionate that way.
Right, right.
Like I spent 4 Thanksgivings in Detroit, the Pontiac Silverdome.
No
was the old
kidding.
one.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And we loved. I'm not a Lions fan, but my family are all Lions fans.
That's
and
too
so
funny. Oh
saw
my
Barry
God.
Sanders.
Yeah.
And, Brett Favre. And,
Jeez, that's
and
interesting.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, we there was only one uncle into sports out of all my uncles. It's my Uncle Frank. The Red Sox stink, yes, he used to say. Hey, they got a hit. They're not going to get any more. He'd yell at the TV. He enjoyed it. Then we talk about the Red Sox, and he goes, "Surprised you kids know a lot. Your father don't like sports." And that's what my father was. He wasn't into sports,
Yeah.
Whereas my uncle, baseball, football. Look at these Patriots. They're terrible. They're never going to a Super Bowl. Little did he know that we did in the last one. I'm sure he's seen it from heaven, but great guy. He was great. Everybody else, cousins, yes, we'd play sports together, like I told you earlier.
Yeah.
But so.
I had a cousin who speaking of your rum cake,
Uh-huh.
I had a cousin who was a youth pastor. So he was a youth pastor in Ohio, and he played a game one time with like 30 or 40 kids. And he asked for volunteers, and this 13-year-old kid raises his hand and really wants to be the volunteer. So he lets him, and the game had something to do with how much Listerine could you chug.
No.
The kid passed out.
I was going to say.
And my cousin, he ended up having charges served. And the family did not even want to charge him, but the assistant AD was like, "No, we're going to charge him, and he's going to be." He almost went to prison because of this.
Listerine?
Listerine.
Would have went with a fresh breath, but that's about it.
I guess so.
Because it's alcohol that's in there.
Yeah, all the alcohol. Yeah.
Oh my God! It's just a simple game to drink.
Simple game of rum cake. A little too much there.
Wow, that's amazing.
So, how did you get involved? And we have a connection. Comedy professor when Dan Cohen and I watched. We went for a 6-week class. And
2020.
How did you get involved with comedy?
First started, it goes way back. When I was a kid, I entertained kids at St. Patrick's School. I just did voices and impressions, told jokes, and nuns didn't get mad because I kept the kids up from beating the crap out of each other. So went to Catholic school. Let me get this clear. St. Patrick's, and I entertained them, and then I try to be funny at family events. I used to tell people my family events were like roasts. I'd roast my dad, my mom, my brother. When I get home, they're all ready to kill me, pretty much. And my aunts and uncles and cousins, we laugh. That's funny, Jerry. That's funny, Jerry. And my father go, "Why do you do that? Why do you compare me to a cow and your mother to a horse?" Like, it's just an analogy, And I thought I'd feel the wrath, and they go, "We're just going to go to bed, whatever." And then I entertained. Then when high school came, a couple of years, like I was like 7th and 8th grade in elementary, and then high school I did junior and senior year. The more I got out there, the more. So parochial school was like my stage. It's like I could go out there in the middle of the school year. There was a building. I was at the top of the steps telling jokes, doing voices. People listened, they'd laugh, they go, "You're crazy, Caruso." That's what they'd say to me. And then by senior year, I was emceeing every event, like every football pep rally, the hockey pep rally, and I'd introduce people in different voices. I'd give them nicknames, or they'd provide the nicknames to me. And then finally, the coup de grace, I'm not fluent in Spanish or French, was I did the senior banquet, and the funniest moment was I'm making fun of nuns, joking around politely, and I look at the principal. I go, you know, it was like a month before we graduated, or a couple of weeks before we graduated. I go, well, thank God we all have a sense of humor, sister, and we're all having fun, and I can't wait to graduate. She goes, not yet, Mr. Caruso. I'm like, ooh, you know? But I did. But it's like, so then from there, I tried to dabble in college, but then by 1980, I went to a contest. Someone signed me up for class clown, and one of my classmates in high school, you're a shoo-in for this, and a bunch of us will support you. And I went in 2 nights. You auditioned kind of like the first night, and they brought you back by popular demand, and I was a shoo-in for the top 10, and I finished third out of 10. Actually tied for second, me and some guy from Boston Gas and Electric. The guy that won was a proud server of this country for the Air Force. When we looked, you could bring as many as you want. I just brought like a dozen people. And the guy from National Gas, he goes, yeah, I brought 15 people. I want to earn it. I go, me too. We look at the walls lined with cadets all the way around. So that guy who won had to have at least, I'd say, 60, 70 people.
Wow.
And he had they were lining the walls, all dressed in their blues. We're like, oh my God, you know, this guy's going to win.
Yeah.
And he had more in the audience. I mean, it was from WVBF when Lauren and Wally were there, if you don't remember, DJs, but they were popular in Boston. And I finished third, and I was happy. And after I get out of there, I go to a friend, I go, how do I do more comedy? Guy, Boston Gas, I think he goes, maybe I'm going to go to Ding Ho's. I go, what's Ding Ho's? Chinese restaurant, East Cambridge, hosts comedy shows, open mics on Wednesday night. Wednesday night, the first time. And you know Lenny Clark, have you heard of?
Yeah.
Lenny Clark was there. He was thin, he had hair, and the girls liked him. He goes, kid, he goes, I don't know you, but I'll give you a decent spot. And I go, well, what am I? He goes, number 61. I go, 61? He goes, dude, we start at 7 and we end there 1 or 2. I go, oh my God, how many are going to be here? At least 100. And he was right. And
Wow.
So I got on 61. I don't know, it might have been 11 o'clock. I don't know.
How much time did you have?
Just like 5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay.
But it went by, it was an eternity, but they liked it. So he goes to me at the end of the show, come back, kid. I go, I'll probably be back in a month. Oh, whatever you want, and I'll give you a better spot because you did good. I see a little talent there. I go, all right. So I came back next time. He goes, I remember you. He goes, you called Jerry. Yeah. And he says, Caruso. I go, yeah, Jerry Caruso. I got a good spot for you. I go, what? 47. I go, 47. I was going down. You were 61, now you're 47. And again, Wade did my time, somehow did good. They liked what I had because I hadn't been here in a month, so not like everybody's going to know me.
Right.
Come back again, it's going to change. Back again. And Jerry's back. I said, yeah. And it was a month later. I didn't have anybody watching me. You know, no one would come me. Less and less people came with me. He goes, guess where you are? He goes, 30. And so it kept going. I went like 4 times, and the lowest was 19, which was a compliment.
Yeah, right.
Because he thought that, but I never went back. In 1993, I went to the next comedy stop, followed by workers. They pulled up in a school bus, full of beer and inebriated co-workers. The driver was sober. They staggered out. Jerry! And the guy from Nick's goes, who's that? And that's a Partridge family. He goes, no, wise guy. Who's that? I go, my friends from my co-workers. I call them the Partridge family. Whatever. They all come and I go, yep. And they were happy because I had like 14, 15 people there. I had like a little more than a third of the audience.
Wow.
So it helped me to have like a home crowd, but
Yeah.
I didn't look at it as a home crowd because I always look at things like when I teach.
Yeah.
I don't look at my friends and relatives laughing. I look for the other people I don't know
Yeah.
to see if they laugh. And they did. And from there, I didn't stop. So from 1993, even counting COVID, I never took any breaks.
Really?
Nope. No, even with COVID.
Now, what is so for you personally, at the end of the day, right, when it's all said and done, what do you get out of it? Like, what do you want to see happen at the end of a night, or when you're done with yours, or even when you're building, you have friends who do it with you, when you do it for non. Like, what is it that you want to see happen as a result of your comedy?
Two things. Everybody walks away happy, and they're laughing, and they're in a better mood. And if we raise money for a good cause, that's really cool. Just to know that 500, 1,000, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000. The most we ever raised, and that was when I first started, we did a show for AIDS research in Leominster, Fitchburg, on a dingy, hot night, and it's in CR Goodies, which was, fluorescent colors, black. It just looked like some gang painted the wall that afternoon. I'm not making fun of gangs, and we had like almost 400 people there on a Monday night. My friend Barry Hansen booked it well, and that night he goes, I know you guys paid, we're gonna pass the hat. And don't forget, in the front of the audience was AIDS patients. He actually brought in AIDS patients.
Wow.
There. And it struck a lot of people. And I can't think of what the total was prior, but at the end of the night, it was like somewhere over 10,000. It was like $11,000.
Wow.
And the bartender, the guy who owned the place, felt so good he donated half the bar because he did very well that night. But he did a great job. Rick Cuddy, I think his name was, and Rick was a nice guy. Did a few shows there shortly thereafter, but it was just fun knowing that. We worked with Anthony Clark. He's fame of Yes Dear and shows like that, or MTV.
Yeah.
And he was really a nice guy, had a southern drawl and everything.
Yeah.
But just knowing that people are laughing and they're smiling and they're feeling good. You may see them beforehand, they're like, I don't know how this show's gonna be. But if I'm the headliner, which 9 chances out of 10 I am, then it's like I did my job. At the end, they're coming up to me. It feels good, not from perspective like, oh, I'm famous. They like me. They think I'm funny. No, it's just that I know they had a good time, and I was partially responsible, along with the other guys and girls who were part of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I look for.
Oh, I mean, it's so good. I've really been to one of your shows with a few other people in.
The one in Winston, yeah.
It was so amazing, and I mean, the whole restaurant was packed.
Oh yeah.
Just a good time.
Was that the night that it turned cold in September?
Yes.
It was like in
October, but it started warm, and then we left. I was like,
and I kept telling everybody, bring sweatshirts, bring jackets. I go, what for? And then Jenny's, what was it, her dad, she goes, he has to leave, he's cold. I go, I told everybody to wear warm clothes, and nobody listened. And remember that night, I had just a long sleeve shirt, like a flannel shirt or a slightly heavier one. It was like, whoa, this is cold. And but it was fun. It was rewarding to the fact that we got everybody out. It was during the pandemic. It was like in September, October. People still had fun. So you're kind of outdoors, so those who were fearful of like spreading, at least you had the outdoor air. But the place was like not sealed tight, but the door was open, but that was it, because the screen windows or huge windows were covered with plastic. So, but everybody had a good time. Whoever wore a mask, they wore a mask. Whoever didn't. People spaced if they had to, but just such
Are
a
you
good
going
time.
back there at all? Do you have any?
I should be going hopefully this year. Like they wanted to do something at Christmas, but they were so short-staffed because of the pandemic, and people don't want to work. People get unemployment, and it's just so sad. And it's such a great place. So hopefully we'll start that again come springtime. That'd be good. It's such a comfortable place, like home base for me.
Yeah.
Next town over, I know a lot of people that go to it, and it's just like a fun time.
So March 11th.
Yeah.
March 11th, you and I and Dan Cohane and a few others will be.
Jenny Freeman.
And
we're waiting to hear from Joe Kell and Dustin. Don't even ask me to pronounce the last name. Dustin P. So I'm waiting to hear from them, but it could be all of us, or it could be just the four of us.
Now, what's it like doing a show with newbies? Like, and then Jenny's a little bit more. How is that to you?
It's so much fun just to see when people progress, like I've seen all of you progress in many ways. And it makes me feel good that not that I did it, but I try to guide everyone on what to do. And I always make note, he listened, she listened, he didn't, but it's okay. And then when they come to me afterwards, how'd I do? I go, remember I told you, read your audience, So I'm still a teacher then, but it's just great to share the stage with that. And I've done many shows with students and former students, and it's just fun just to see them, encapsulate things and just try to, be as funny as they possibly can.
Have you ever had and I don't know, how long have you been teaching?
Since '99.
99? Have you ever had a student go on to do like unbelievable things or?
So there's a bunch of examples. So I always had Bill Slemmer, and he passed away just recently. But Bill, very funny guy. He just battled cancer, but it was like 5 years. It was hard, and he was always there for me for any show. So I see him progress from doing 5 minutes to doing 20 minutes or 25 minutes, which was amazing. Wow. There's Dennis Worth. Dennis is a good guy, a little rough around the edges, but I wouldn't take him to the church. Not that he's that bad, but it's the way kind of comic is, which is really good.
Yeah.
Very talented guy, and he's done his own movie. He's got a podcast, and
Wow.
he's done nonprofit stuff. And I used to do a lot of work with Dennis, and I love the guy. He's just a great guy, just like I love Bill. Ann Podolsky out of the western part of the state near Greenfield. She lost her battle to, I believe, cancer. I hope I have it right. And she's extremely talented. And she had some really funny stuff. And she's just starting to branch out into different comedy groups and did a really good job. And I'm trying to think. There may be one, but no one's been big, but they've stuck with it and have been consistent, which is really good. I like our class because our class keeps on wanting to do things. And,
It's pretty fun.
and to me, that's very cool. And we hope to expand to different things, and we can do it together. That's okay by me. Yeah. Like I always tell people, people ask me, they go like, do you care if anybody does well in front of you? I go, no, I welcome it because I want people to do well, and it makes me do better.
Yeah.
It pushes me to like, geez, I got to be really funny. Not that I say that to myself, but it's like, wow. Or if I see them going in a different direction where they go on the edgy side, I know I'm not going to be edgy.
Yeah.
But I'll wander into it and just not make it as bad as how they're doing it. Like Dennis used to call me, you're a goody two-shoes. No, I'm not a goody two-shoes. I just like working clean, and I don't think it hurts things. It helps and may give me a lot more opportunities than others who get edgy. He goes, like me. I go, no, I'm not saying like you, because certain crowds are for certain comedians, which, I pride myself that a ton of people have hired me. Bikers have hired me all over the place. I do a lot of show for biker groups. I've done schools. I was heckled by a 4th grader in Maine. He was heckling me. I says, come on.
Awesome.
Don't you got homework to do? No, it's Saturday night. I go, where's your mother? And he's pointing. She's 2 aisles behind him. I go, what are you afraid of sitting near your mother? He goes, where's your mother? I go, she's in a home, so leave her alone, And it was like, and my friends were laughing because my friends, Danny Bullis and Mark Riley, we did the show together. Mark did 20 minutes. Danny did like 10, 15 minutes. They go, this will be an hour and a half. I go, don't worry about it. And I wound up doing like close to an hour and a half, by myself. But it was a fun crowd. They raised money for a football program. It was really, really cool because of the whole night. We got paid and go girls. That's cool. But so we haven't heard yet. So hopefully they want to do it this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Fun stuff.
It is fun.
Who's your favorite comedian of all time? Anybody stand out?
Yeah, two people, and one of them is probably going to be shocking because it's me. But first of all, I'm going to say 3 people.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
First of all is Jim Gaffigan.
Oh, Jim, yeah.
He's the first real one that I ever listened to extensively because I liked comedy, but I really never listened intensely or was I even allowed to growing up, right?
That's true. Good point.
So, and then somebody else who kind of took Pete. What is his name? He had an HBO program. He was a youth pastor who turned.
No.
Yeah. He's a youth pastor. His name was Pete. I can't remember his name now. His show was about. He got kicked out by his wife. He was a youth pastor on the show. He got kicked out and he left, not the church, but he left having a job at the church, and he went and tried to become a comedian, which is like his real life.
Really?
So he had like lots of famous people on the show, like famous comedians. Great, yeah. It's we'll tell you
all right, but we'll remember it when this is over.
yeah, and then Dave Chappelle,
Dave Chappelle's very talented.
very talented.
I mean, Gaffigan is too. He's a very funny guy. He's gone through some stuff with his wife, but
Yeah.
you know, he's consistent. He's good. He's just completely, he's the whole package. But Chappelle, yeah, he's just amazing.
And they're totally different. Like
Yeah, they
are. Gaffigan is like, you know, like you, right? Like he's not gonna tip the boat too much. He's clean. He kind of is self-deprecating.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And as opposed to Dave Chappelle, who's not going to make fun of himself a lot.
Right.
But you better hope you're not on his bad side.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he will make fun of you. And then,
He doesn't. Not that he doesn't care, but he doesn't care. You know, what
Yeah.
he sees what you get, it's going to come right out, and it's right there for you. You know, because mine would be like Robin Williams. It's a tie between him and Rodney Dangerfield. I think Rodney Dangerfield was a genius. Me and my wife will watch like old clips of him, and I just can't believe some of the stuff that he say is all self-deprecating. He goes, I got home and my wife was in bed with somebody. And I said, what's going on? She looks at the guy, she goes, I told you he was stupid. It's like, like trying to figure it out. He goes, one time I was madly in love with my wife, and I called her. I go, hey, honey. He goes, I want you so bad. I want you now. She goes, who is this? So it's like, some stuff he said. And Robin Williams was creative. Everything was off the top of his head.
oh, my word.
He'd drop into character. He'd make a joke out of everything. He was that. And it's very difficult to find people that way that can do that. And he's one of the very few. And probably another one would be like Steve Martin, which I think Steve Martin's a genius. I saw him when he first came out with I'm Sorry,
Yeah.
He did that back in the late 70s. He did like almost 2 hours just blurting out stuff, singing songs, playing the banjo, playing the wrong song, singing the wrong words. You know this tune, and he'd sing it wrong, and you'd be like laughing, like, we don't believe that he's doing that. Like I saw an old clip of him. He goes, I'm gonna do a card trick, everybody. Okay, here we go. He goes, what is this card? And the guy, he goes, what is it? King of Hearts. Okay, I'm gonna shuffle them in the deck, but I'm gonna pull them out. And he pulls them out. He goes, everybody, concentrate on the count of 3. I want you to say, dance, king, dance. And the King of Hearts will dance for you. And the guy, and it was a British guy, he goes, I don't believe it. He goes, how's it gonna happen? He goes, you gotta concentrate, focus on your mind, and you'll get it done. Audience, and we do the same thing. And finally they said, dance, king, dance. He took the card and he went, that's all he did. He took it in his hand and he made it dance.
Oh, man.
So, he did stuff like that. But it's like when he did any of the awards program, like the Academy Awards, which I'm not a fan of, but I'd watch it to see his monologue. He was so clever, and he'd just do stuff that he'd not rock both sides, but he didn't care. And you want me to make him laugh? I'll make him laugh,
Speaking of awards programs, does anyone do it better than Ricky Gervais?
He does a great job.
That is crazy. That
Yeah.
last one he did in 2020.
And they all get mad at him, too. It's
Oh,
like, well,
man.
you hire a comic, what do you want?
Yeah.
You can't tell him, write stuff about Amish people, or write stuff about camels, or write stuff about, the color gray. No, you can't tell him. He has his arsenal, but he's also going to look at this and say, like, well, let me talk about the and he'll do that. And he wasn't afraid.
One of my favorite night in 2020, right before the pandemic hit, was he made a joke about long movies.
Right.
And he talked about The Irishman and what a fantastic movie it was. He was like, a little long though. And he was like, I was told that Leonardo DiCaprio, when he went into the movie, that by the end of the movie, his date was too old for him. And they panned to Leonardo DiCaprio just laughing like,
Oh, God.
and it was just perfect.
Yep.
It was so
He was,
good.
yeah, he was really good at those shows. And Steve Martin, like I said, was another one. But again, Hollywood would get mad, like, oh, you can't make fun of us. It's like, no, what do you want him to do?
Right.
It's an award show. Do you want him to talk about awards? He can make fun of movies, he can make fun of anything. He's just trying to make you laugh. And some people like, you can't do that to us. That's why I like when I do crowd work, because I like playing with the crowd, and they're going to talk back to me. I keep playing with them. But I don't get deeply insulting, like, I'm not like Don Rickles. I'm not like, these guys who say, oh my God, I can't show my face. It's like I just engage with them. And it's so much fun. And not everybody can do it. And I realize that. And my friend told me once, you can do crowd work. I go, how do you know? Try it. I go, how do you know this? Because you're quick on your feet. And Larry Lewis, who I lost last year. Yeah, and he used to always say, you do this anybody else? I go, no, I can't, try it. And I picked out shows that I do it at where I know the crowd is playful, or it might be a smaller crowd, and it worked, and he was right. I owe him a debt of gratitude and thank you. He's up there somewhere. Is he up there? No, he's somewhere. And he'd be like, oh, thanks, Jar. You know, that's what he'd say to me. But, you know, he told me you could do it. He was also one that told me back in 2000, early 2000s, you can headline. No, I can't. I can't compete with them. He goes, you know, you're funnier than you think. He goes, you just have to go and try it. Go do a longer set. He goes, what are you used to doing? I go, back then I was used to, in the early 2000s, like 2005 to 2010, I'd be like, I could do 30, maybe 40 minutes. He goes, well, tonight you can do 45. And then another night he says, you can do 50. I go, come on. He goes, I'm telling you. And there were times I did over that time and didn't realize it. Not digging up everything in the kitchen sink, but just doing stuff that I think that they'd like. Or I'd try some old stuff that I haven't done in a while. Or I'd play with the crowd a bit. He goes, I told you you could do it. And I did the same for him when he first started. I go, you can headline too. And, you know, he did a great job. He's called a joke master, but he did all old jokes.
Yeah.
You know.
Why should somebody come on March 11th?
Because you need to laugh.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of talented people here, yourself included. And we're raising money for a good cause, right?
Yeah, Hearts for Heat.
Hearts for Heat.
Hearts for Heat.
That's cool.
Organization that focuses on helping those in need with heat.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's fun. You know, they should come out to have a good time. Yeah. I mean, we're long overdue. There were brave souls that came out to different shows that I had done, which is really good. Like you went to one of them. Yes, it may have had 45 people, but that's all you could fit in that place. We broke every fire. No, we didn't. Yes, we did.
We didn't say which place it was.
Yeah, capacity was 40, and it was like, you know, we had 45. But everybody had fun.
Yeah.
And that's what people need. And that's why I was proud during the pandemic to still do virtual shows, because I did one for you guys, which was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of
Leave
fun.
the mics on, and I'm happy.
Yep.
The ones that they have no mics on, you see smiling, whether it's gas or they're really laughing, or they're laughing but you can't hear them. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You know. But I was just going and keep doing it, or being on people's podcasts or Zooms, or John was one of them in Rhode Island. He do shows. He goes, hey, Jerry, he talked like a gangster, but that's how he is. He's a nice guy. I love him. He knows I love him. He goes, what's new with you? Geraldo, he called me that. And he's Italian too, but I'm not Geraldo, I'm Jerry. Geraldo, he goes, you're funny. Son of a gun, he says, and he's really good. But, so it kept me going, and I meet new comics and have them on my Zooms, have him on a few times. Like I'd bring different people on, and it made it interesting. And last time I was in, don't pass out, folks, because I'm everywhere. Northbridge. NCTV, my friend.
Is that in Ohio? Or?
Yeah, Northbridge, Mass. It was a great show, and it's ironic. I was there 2 years ago, right when the pandemic started, and as he would say now you're coming on when it's starting to wean down and maybe end. I go, yeah. And
that's cool. And
he remembers. And I looked at the old, it's so funny, when I did it, I posted it, and it got a few views, and I'm like, yeah, right, I'm ready to watch it. Then when I reposted, tons of people are watching it, so it was really weird. I go, this was 2 years ago, and I'm going back for my 2-year anniversary, like I'm probably off by 1 or 2 weeks, because it was like early March that we did it before the pandemic got released. Everybody was running scared, and then I'm coming back, telling him, he goes, how'd you survive? And we talked about how I survived and what I did. I wrote an article in a magazine, a women's magazine. I don't know why. I did a radiothon, which I only did like 10 minutes, and we raised $65,000 for a veterans organization. Because people, again, had nothing to do.
Yeah.
And they listened to this telethon all day. And I was toward the end, and I wanted to do my thing. So there were certain things I did, the outdoor shows that I did, that you would come to, and teaching in 2020, which the mount kept saying, like, you want to teach it? You really want to teach? You want to do virtual? I go, nope. You want to have it live? I go, yep. Tell everybody to wear masks. You tell them whatever you want to restrict it, space people out. And that class was fun.
Oh, it was a blast.
It was really good. And we had like 10 or 11 hardy, I think 10 hardy souls. And
Yeah.
too bad we don't see some of them still, but we'll get them back.
Well, thank you for.
That's it.
That's it today. That's it.
That's it.
We are busting out.
Drove to Holden. That's it. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
March 11th is the day.
That'd be fun.
I'm looking forward to it.
So you, Dan,
Dan.
me, Jenny Freeman, possibly Joe Kell, possibly Dustin P. We'll leave it at that. Now I'll wait to hear from them.
And we already have some people registered, and we're ready to go.
That's really
so
good.
We'll make them laugh.
How many get registered?
3 or 4.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
We'll make
But I mean, we didn't actually ask anyone to register. They just did it. So we'll put it on our.
But there's a lot of interest anyway.
Yeah.
Where? Here, right?
So it'll be right here
What
in
time?
this room. 7 o'clock or
7-ish. We'll go at 7-ish.
7-ish.
So that people, because it's a Friday night,
It's
you
a
worry
Friday
about
night.
babysitters. I mean, they'll come. They'll come and they'll have a great time.
Yeah.
Like we did it outside in that
Yeah.
April cold. We still did it and they had fun. And then when you
Bring your
couldn't be here, we
blankets.
were downstairs and Dan had to host the show and that was fun too.
Yeah.
When we did it downstairs.
Oh, excuse
Bless
me.
you. First time I blessed a pastor.
Thank you. 7 to 8:30.
Are you a
That's
pastor? Is it pastor or
I'm a
reverend?
pastor, yeah.
Just want to make sure of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to say father or reverend. You're too
Yeah.
young. Too young to be a father. Yeah, that's all. Great church. It's fun. It's in here, right?
It'll be in here, pretty comfortable.
Very comfortable.
Place to be, and as you said, it would be for Hearts for Heat.
And people just can make donations. It doesn't
People
matter.
just make donations. We're just kind of like.
See how I extend the show? I'll ask you questions. You go, what about the questions? You didn't ask me anything. I'm asking you about the show. Comfortable seats and everything. This is the best.
We won't. No, I'll ask this final question.
Sure.
Team Russia or Team Ukraine? Oh man,
Ukraine. Team Ukraine. I like the underdogs. I like the
Underdogs. There you go.
People told me, like, when I did comedy, they go, you always favor the underdogs. I go, yeah, because I'm an underdog. And I wanted, like anytime I go to work, I try to make people laugh. It's usually the ones that don't usually laugh. I try to incorporate them. Like, right, Emily? She'd be like, what? And now she goes, because of you, now I talk to people. I go, well, that's good. She goes, I hate you, just joking. But, she used to like being, not introverted, but and the sweetest person. But she goes, yeah, I like how you're for the underdogs. And, I think comedy can help that because I'm not going to make fun of anybody.
Right.
I just want to make them laugh. And I go, hey, did you have a good time, Joe? Did you have a good time, Mary? Phil, did you have a good time? And they're like looking like really scared because I'm in corporate. But I want them to have a voice too.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm not going to look for it that night, but we'll see.
Maybe there'll be somebody here that needs to be talked to.
And we got any special guests? People from other churches or no? What's going to go
Hopefully.
on? Yeah, you invited
I'm
some?
putting the word out. Yeah.
And some dignitaries, right? I think you said that.
That'll be good. Yeah.
You are. And I'm putting you on the spot now. So now you
I'm inviting everybody I know. I'm just.
But
bringing it out
dignitaries,
there.
like people from other parishes, like, hey, come and see us.
Oh yeah, I have a couple friends. John Barber from First Congregational.
Good.
And Shiloh Bradshaw from
What's his name?
Shiloh Bradshaw.
Oh, I thought it was Shadow. It's Shiloh?
Shiloh. Pretty
That's
cool
a he.
name, right?
That's a he.
California. Yeah.
Well, he's from California, but he
Pastors
practices.
here. First Baptist in here.
No way. Oh, my God. That would be cool.
Yeah. So I've invited them. We'll see. We'll see what's up.
Huh. Shiloh. It's like calling for Shane, that
We'll
old
have
comment.
we'll have food.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Have
that.
a little food downstairs.
How's that going to be? It's like potluck, or what food you get?
No, we'll have. We have some people bringing appetizers.
Oh, that's nice.
Afterwards,
That's
we can go
cool. They
downstairs.
can't eat up here, though, right?
What?
Can't eat up here, no?
We wouldn't for this event. But,
Yeah.
But like on Sunday mornings, people bring coffee and donuts in here.
Stop. Cut it out. Nice church.
I mean, the doctrine around this is one of the major differences actually between Catholic Church and our building. I think they're wrong. Just
Yeah.
you don't mess with that altar.
No,
Or even on the altar. Make sure that you do not mess. And I don't. and as in Scripture, Jesus, when he gave his life, there's this thing where the veil was tore in two.
Right.
Scripture says.
Right.
And symbolically, what that was, the Jewish temple had a place where no one could go.
Right.
And that was the Holy of Holies. Only the high priest could go in there once a year in that altar, and nobody else could ever go in there.
You mean the tabernacle, or am I getting close?
In the temple, yeah. Well, it's when the tabernacle eventually became the temple.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Okay.
right, okay.
And just two different eras of Jewish
The
Israel.
little tabernacle thing.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. That was around Moses' time. And then David and his son Solomon built the temple.
Right.
Which was basically it was a mirror thing. Tabernacle was a portable one.
Ah.
And the temple was this is where we are now. This is Jerusalem. This is Israel. So essentially, though, what that symbolically was the veil that was torn apart created an openness to, that was the veil that covered the Holy of Holies.
Oh, I see.
That Jesus' death
Right.
actually allowed access from God to man.
Ah.
And so you no longer had to go through that one high priest.
Wow.
And so that's the difference theologically.
So you allow people to bring coffee and donuts on a Sunday?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Catholics had St. Joe, you got St. Doe.
yes.
I couldn't think of anything.
When they bring the donuts, I don't drink coffee either. So
Really?
Yeah, nah. I used to be addicted to soda,
Huh.
and I have been off 13 weeks yesterday.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Wow.
So people can bring water. They can bring.
Yeah, that's cool.
They can bring.
That'd be fun.
coffee.
I think it's, people just need to get out. Like they asked me last night when I closed a show with Miguel. He goes, you could look at the camera. Tell people what you want to tell them. I go, come out, have fun, watch a show, support comedy, support the arts, support singers, bands, because we're getting back to normal. And let's just do this.
Back to normal. That's good.
Just be careful. Get in the way. What the pandemic probably taught us is to, wash your hands, clean. And, it's like, but I've always been a guy that had sanitizer on. I wasn't a clean freak. I'm no Howie
Mandel.
I'm not like that. But because when I work doing IT tech support, I'm touching different keyboards. I'm going all over the place. I make sure afterwards, not right there and then, hang on 1 second, I got to leave. I don't do that. And one more thing about the Catholic faith, what I like about Italians is like, my mother was like that too. If you weren't dating a Catholic woman, she'd be like, they go, "Is she go to church?" I go, "Yeah, she's Greek Orthodox." Oh my God. You're not going to marry her. I go, "Mom, just taking her out for a date." She wanted an Italian and she wanted a Catholic. Well, she got an adopted Italian who was Irish and she's Catholic and stuff, But my mother would be like, this girl's Jewish. Oh, no. She goes, is she not Catholic? It's the religion. I go, no, it's not the religion. They're all religions. They all believe in God. What's the big deal,
She was not having it.
No, well, most Italian women were like that, mothers and aunts and grandmothers. One more thing, there was a cute joke that I did for, I think it was a Baptist church up in Maine with Danny and Mark. We did a church show. We had to raise money for a guy with cancer. We raised a lot of money. It was great. I had a cute joke about Jesus, and I shouldn't say joke, but I said, when Jesus, nobody knows he was popular with the teens in Israel, he was preaching around, and he come up to a bunch of teenagers, Jewish teenager boys, and they were talking like, yeah, that Jesus is pretty cool. And the other kid goes, yeah. He goes, I'd love to meet him, but we don't know where he is. He's all over the place. And Jesus goes, I'm Jesus. They go, no way. He goes, Yahweh. Cute joke. They liked it. Cute.
Well,
You can add like a half hour. They're like, ah.
No, that's hilarious.
Oh, the whole thing.
I'm keeping the whole thing.
It's good.
I mean, Al was good, but it wasn't quite the riveting podcast material we wanted.
Really?
No, what's just coming in saying?
No, that's natural.
It is natural.
He was a fan.
It did. He went to travel 3 weeks excursion around the United States this
way.
year. The only reason I would put that in here is because during the audio podcast, that would be exceptionally boring. Because you
Yeah,
couldn't
it's
hear
true.
it.
Like, yeah, who's Al?
Maybe I can just edit it through.
Sorry, Al.
We love you.
Yeah, I like you. I don't know you that well. It was cool. Well, thank you for having
Awesome.
me. Look forward to
Say, we'll
the
see you then.
11th. Yeah, yeah.